Gentlemen, this is an absolute honour. This kind of conversation is something that is extra special because we're celebrating 40 years since the first Adelaide Grand Prix here. Stefan, you were there, you were racing. Take us back to that time, please, sir. It's so iconic.
No one expected or knew what to expect when we came here, because it was the first race, of course, in Australia and Adelaide, but it was a more than pleasant surprise for everybody. The energy in the town was just incredible, and the race itself was fantastic. The racetrack is really good, demanding, difficult, but a really good race, yeah.
And please, talk us through some of those challenges.
Yeah, I mean, every street circuit, by definition, is always a bit more difficult, demanding. There's no room for error. And, so you got to be really precise and make no mistakes, basically, So that, for me, makes it much more interesting, of course.
And then you come back in 86 and put it on the podium. So you must be doing something right around here.
Just luck.
No, it
Pure
wasn't. Absolutely not. Talk us through 86. 86
wasn't as good year for Ferrari in general as 85 was. The car wasn't that great, really, but... it was, from the beginning of practice, just try to focus on the race setup and get as good a race setup as possible, because qualifying wasn't that important then. And I, remember just doing a couple of slow runs on one set of tires that would then last the whole race, just to give it a little heat cycle every session, just to make them cure a little bit. Maybe 0.2 a lap slower overall, but they did last the whole distance, and that's really what got us to third place in the end. It wasn't speed.
It wasn't speed. It was all you, sir.
What's that?
It's all you.
No, it's not me. Me and the engineers. More the engineers.
And Stefan, you're obviously driving in some demonstration laps this weekend.
Tomorrow I will be in the Mazda Le Mans car.
Yeah, the 767B.
In one session at least, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So they get reacquainted to that one.
Yes, and talk us through that, because it's an absolute monster. Just to listen to the sound of that is incredible. I had the honour of interviewing the owner last year, and I purposely made him recreate the sound because it's so iconic. Talk us through your memories of that one.
Yeah, I haven't driven the car since I've crossed the finish line in Le Mans in 1991, whatever it was, yeah. But amazing engine. The car period was very good. Very nice, well-balanced, easy car to drive, but the engine was extraordinary. So it's 11,000 RPM, but it's really 33,000 because there's three ignitions per rotation.
Wow.
So that's why you get that super high-pitched sound, The exhaust, it's like insanely loud, and high pitch.
Can we please talk about the Formula 2 race here, David Brabham? It's quite the story.
It's definitely, when I look back, it's a race that taught me a lot about myself more than anything. The main story was I had a massive bust-up with my father. Just before the race, we hadn't been talking for 3 months, I had to tell him my girlfriend was pregnant. And for him, that was like, no, you don't have family as a racing driver. So he could see I was doing quite well, and he thought, right, he's going to go to Europe. He's the one going to get to Formula One, and all of a sudden I go, oh, I got a baby on tow. We didn't speak for 3 months, and then I was trying to bridge the gap after qualifying, and he had his sort of that stern look on his face. My mum was there, and he had a Formula One pass. And I said, oh, you better get me one of those for when I'm in Formula One. And I didn't know what to say to him because we weren't talking. So it just came out. And he just looked at me and said, the days of you ever going to Formula One are finished. And that was it. I fired right back at him. And I said, I'm not accepting that. And I told him to F off. And I stormed off. I put my John Farnham tape on, listened to John Farnham. And I was like, on the limiter when I got in the car. And I grabbed the mechanic and I said, you go down there and tell those guys in front of me I'm coming through, they better get out of the way, which I would never have done. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just don't. I was in a completely different mindset because the determination and the anger and everything was so heightened. Even when was sitting in the car and all I had sight was, I'm winning this race, get out of my way, So I went from 38th to 17th on lap 1, lap 2 I'm in the top 10. And I got in the lead with a lap to go and won the race. It was one of those times in your life where you look back and go, well, I finished the race and I went, how the hell did I do that? And it just took me mentally to a whole new place I didn't know existed. So really it was a gift. It was a fantastic gift my dad gave me, because I learned a lot about the mentality to racing and performing at a kind of high level, and the kind of mood in particular you have to be in when you put the helmet on. And I carried that all the way through my career. So funny enough, he started talking to me after that.
Well, thank you both so much for your time. We are just thrilled to have you here both for another year. You guys are such massive advocates for this event, and it's truly an honour. Everyone, please put your hands together one more time. David Brabham and Stefan Johannson.